Sleeps like a baby. Who came up with that crap, dude? Sleeps like a baby. Obviously, somebody who's never tried to put a baby to sleep.
Welcome back to the Dad Lab.
You know what? The only thing that's worse, the only phrase that's worse than sleeps like a baby is she's crowning, because that's got nothing to do with crowns.
Which has nothing to do with this episode, which is actually all about sleeping and establishing healthy sleep patterns. It's brought to you by Baby Bjorn and their new Babysitter Balance, which is a great place for the baby to sleep or rest or even play the Babysitter Balance.
You know what pisses me off the most about it? Sleeps like a baby. They make it sound like it's so easy, like you just put the baby down and they go to sleep. It's automatic, it's simple. It's not.
Yeah, you're obviously worked up over this issue, which is pretty typical of parents across the board because, after all, with healthy kids, what could be more stressful than being up in the middle of the night dealing with sleep issues?
So to get the scoop on setting healthy sleep routines, we talked to Dr. David Duhan of the Center for Sleep Disorders here in Central Texas.
Most of the time when I ran into the sleep behavioral problems, it was that parents didn't set limits. The routine is extremely important. They should go to bed about the same time, without exception. It should provide enough time for them to sleep. A 3-year-old, it should be 11 to 12 hours a night. A 5-year-old, not much less, if any. A 10-year-old should still be 9-10 hours per night allotted for sleep. If the child's having to be awakened in the morning, if they're difficult to awaken, they're not getting enough sleep. Studies indicate at this point that close to half of all school-age children have a television in their bedroom. No child should have a television in the bedroom. I don't think adults should have a television in their bedroom. It's bad for sleep habits. Similarly, they shouldn't have a computer in their bedroom. I would take their cell phones away from them at night. They shouldn't have that out there either. Until age 3, the amount of TV they watch should be 0. After that, very little.
Now, for you new or expecting dads, you may not realize it, but setting up your sleep routine, what's one of those subject matters that can actually throw you in the middle of a big, fat controversy argument with people. I'm just telling you, you have to have the child with you, in contact with you, to be able to teach them. You're the idiot!
You know, there are two schools of thought in this red state, blue state style of debate about sleeping. There are the co-sleeping people, and then there are the let them cry it out people. Attachment parenting people, and Ferberizing people.
Yeah, those are the buzzwords you're gonna hear right before somebody throws a left cross, right? So watch out for that kind of thing. Now, speaking in the most broad possible terms, attachment parenting, it's championed by the very famous pediatrician, Dr. William Sears, Dr. Sears, and he encourages co-sleeping, also known as the family bed, and also what he refers to as nighttime parenting, that by close contact with a baby, you soothe them back to sleep.
Co-sleeping, as I understand it, was primarily an issue with nursing mothers. And there it's, to some extent convenient, although it's not, it's probably no less convenient to have let's say a crib or bassinet right next to the bed where the mother can reach and bring the child in rather than have it in the bed. The other thing that's bad for is actually sleep quality. The more people you have in the bed, the lower the sleep quality of everybody in it. I've got 4 kids, and I can tell you, kids move around a lot in bed.
Ferberizing, introduced by Dr. Richard Ferber, has parents promote independent sleeping and self-soothing so that the child can put themselves to sleep. You let the baby cry it out progressively longer and longer and longer until they learn to put themselves to sleep.
Almost any pediatric sleep specialist you talk to will tell you that Ferber's methods are fine. They tend to work. They're not cruel. You're just setting limits and being firm with them, something you need to do with them in all aspects of life. Children will learn to self-comfort and self-soothe. Even infants learn how to do that. A lot of them use what are called transitional objects. That's the blanket or the teddy bear or whatever, and that's fine, but they need their routine. Give them a flashlight when they go in before they go to bed. Look around with them. Sometimes with small children, you can give them a monster killer. Give them a squirt bottle with a little bit of water in it. Tell them if a monster comes close to squirt them. I personally think that, as children grow, separation from parents is an extremely important part of maturation. Having their own place to sleep, is a good way to do it. And most kids do well with their own place to sleep.
But we're totally neutral, so don't start hitting me with a bunch of angry comments. The important thing is whatever works for you, and be careful, it's not worth fighting over.
The American Academy of Pediatrics website has a lot of good information on these issues, aap.org. the National Sleep Foundation, nsf.org, the National Institute of Health websites all have a lot of information parents can use.
If you'd like to know what tricks and sleep routines work for other dads, head on over to dadlabs.com and join the conversation. All kinds of good information out there about how to help your kids go to sleep. Dad Clay, what's your sleep philosophy?
Well, it kind of evolved over the course of having 3 kids. The first kid, of course, was very strict. Everything stopped. Nap time, everything froze. Everyone had to get quiet, and then by the time we got to the 3rd kid, it was like when he fell asleep on the rug. You'd pick him up, maybe put him in the crib. Depends.
So you subscribe to the whole thought of if you sleep too much in the daytime, you may not sleep at night.
Yes, the theory of conservation of sleep, that there's only a certain allotment of sleep that each kid has every day, and if you use too much of it during nap time, it won't be available at night. This is my wife's philosophy.
It doesn't exist. Sleep is infinite. It's like standard units of measurement. Infinite. Can never get to 0.
What are you, a lion?
No, I'm just saying, sleep, you can always sleep. Sleep, perchance to dream. Maybe both.
That's an interesting philosophy, and that's probably where we should end this show. So that's all this week. Thanks very much to Baby Bjorn with their cool babysitter balance. And also to the good folks there at the Sleep Disorder Center of Central Texas. Dr. Duhan, thank you very much for the very good info. We'll see you next week right here in the lab.
Think about it this way, my young man. This is a standard unit of measurement. Can you ever get that to 0? Well, let's cut it in half and see. Is it 0? No. Let's cut that in half.
This is actually pretty good for curing sleeplessness.
Let's cut that in half. No, 0.
I actually want to take a nap right now.
Always.
If I could get a tape of you talking, I would go to sleep every night instantly.
Think about the
I'd play it
tiniest,
for my sleepless
tiniest
children.
unit of